All right, so welcome to the deep dive.
Yes. Hello, everybody.
Today we're diving headfirst into Ghanaian food.
Oh, exciting.
And we're using, Sonny and his best ever food review show as our source.
That's what to me.
He travels the world and eats all sorts of crazy things. We're talking illegal turkey tails, the bustling Makola market, carbs galore, and even some snail slime.
Snail slime. Huh. All right, I'm in.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to get into the ethics of eating bushmeat, too.
Okay.
But first things first, when you think of Ghanaian food, what pops into your head?
Well, like a lot of West African cuisine, carbs are king.
Yeah, the host put it pretty bluntly in the video. He said, if you're going to feed a Ghanaian, you better make sure there are carbs on that plate.
They're the foundation of most meals. And we're not just talking plain rice or bread here.
Oh, definitely not. So tell me what kind of carbs we're dealing with.
We're talking kenki, fufu, banku.
Okay, I've heard of fufu.
And even this thing called TZ.
I've never even heard of that.
And they're all made from different things like cassava, plantains, corn, yam.
Each one with its own unique flavor and texture, right?
Absolutely. And Ghana's got 16 distinct regions, each with its own cultural groups.
A real melting pot.
Exactly. And you see that reflected in the food. Like each ethnic group has its own kind of favorite carbohydrate.
I mean, you can't forget the spices.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Lots of ginger and garlic.
And onion.
It's the aromatic base for so many of their dishes.
Classic combo.
Yeah. Adds warmth and a savory depth.
So we've got the carbs and spices. What about protein? What are they pairing with all of this?
Well, being a coastal country,
Makes sense.
fish is huge.
Oh, of course.
But you also find chicken, beef,
Mm-hmm.
and get this, even snails.
Snails.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm definitely curious about those.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, let's talk street food. That Makola market looks absolutely crazy.
It's a feast for the senses, really. You walk through this labyrinth of stalls, and it's just an explosion of color.
From what I saw, it looks massive.
Yep.
So much going on.
Spices, produce, and all these aromas just wafting through the air.
And street food is just a way of life in Ghana, right?
Totally. Where convenience meets culinary creativity.
Makes sense. Now, we've got to address the elephant in the room. Or should I say, the turkey tail on the grill.
Oh, yeah, those illegal turkey tails.
Okay, what's the deal with those? Why are they banned?
High-fat content.
Okay, but people are openly selling them in the market.
Oh, yeah, you see them right out in the open.
So how are they preparing them?
Deep fried till crispy with habanero peppers, ginger, garlic, onion.
Right. I'm not going to lie, that sounds incredible.
I know, right?
Even though it's pure fat and skin, as Sunny described it.
Yeah.
What's funny is that one of the women selling them in the video said that the ban was good for business.
I was just about to say that.
Because it scared off all her competition.
What a take.
That's pretty brilliant, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to something slightly less controversial.
Yeah.
Red. Red.
Okay.
Tell me, what exactly is that?
It's a classic Ghanaian dish. Gets its name from the color of the palm oil and beans used in it.
Oh, that makes sense. So what are we talking about here?
We're talking black-eyed peas cooked in that rich palm oil
Yeah.
with some gari, which is a crispy fermented cassava,
Okay.
often topped with a hard-boiled egg.
Okay.
And if you're feeling really fancy, some fried plantains.
So it's like their comfort food.
Comfort food at its finest. Nutritious, too.
A little bit of everything.
Carbs, protein, healthy fats.
I'm adding that to my list to try, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, this next one looks like a real culinary adventure, and it's called TZ, pronounced toy.
And get ready to get your hands dirty because no cutlery is needed.
I love it. I love that immersive experience.
Yeah.
So what makes up TZ? Break it down for me.
Okay, so you've got three main components going on here. First, you've got the base, this smooth, almost like a paste, made from cooked corn flour, similar to ugali, if you've ever had that.
I've never had it, no.
Okay, and then there's ayoyo,
Ayoyo. What's that?
this incredible green sauce made from blended jute leaves, onions, smoked fish powder,
Okay.
and fermented locust beans.
Wow. Okay. That sounds like a lot going on.
Yeah, it adds this unique, slightly slimy texture,
Okay.
but it's got this burst of savory flavor.
Interesting. So we've got the base, we've got the sauce. What about the protein?
Okay, here's where things get interesting. We're talking beef organs, often called towel.
Tao. Interesting name.
I know, right?
And what was Sonny most interested in?
Well, he was really intrigued by the stomach.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently it cooks for like 2 hours,
Right.
but somehow stays surprisingly soft.
Okay, I'll take his word for it.
Yeah.
So what about the overall flavor?
Well, he used the word deep He said it has a real deep flavor with a spicy kick from the habanero peppers and a smoky depth from the dry fish powder.
Okay.
He even compared the fish powder to Vietnamese fish sauce.
Oh, wow.
Which, it's interesting how these similar flavor profiles can come from totally different parts of the world.
Right, it just shows you the universality of food.
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about Chi-Chi, this amazing woman who's really pushing to get Ghanaian food out there on the global stage.
Yeah, she's making waves.
She's got her own restaurant. She's a social media personality.
She's doing it all.
And Sunny visited her to try this iconic Ghanaian egg sandwich called chibom. Have you ever tried that?
I haven't, but it looks delicious.
The way they prepare it is amazing. The guy's pounding the bread flat using a paper towel dispenser.
No way!
Yes. Then he fills it with this fluffy omelet.
Okay.
Loads it up with veggies, chili.
It's like a panini,
Yeah.
almost.
That looks so good.
And Sonny said the bread had nice elasticity.
I love that he notices these things.
Right. And it was fun to chew through.
Okay, I need to try this. And it's less than $1.
I know. It's crazy affordable.
That's awesome. Now, at another market, Sunny tries this Ghanaian twist on pasta.
Oh, yeah. That's not your typical spaghetti and meatballs.
Even close.
Tell me about it.
We're talking a mountain of rice, kidney beans, spaghetti, beef stew, all piled high on a plate.
This is one plate.
One plate.
Wow.
With half a pig head just chilling right on top.
Okay, then.
They really use every part of the animal, don't they?
They do not waste anything.
And what's interesting is that Sunny detected a black licorice flavor in the stew.
Oh, really?
Yeah, probably from that long cooking time.
Makes sense.
The high salt content was probably a way to preserve the food before refrigeration.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Resourcefulness at its finest. Speaking of flavor, are you ready to tackle the jollof rice rivalry?
Oh, I've been waiting for this. Ghana versus Nigeria. Let's do it. It's serious business, this jollof rice rivalry.
Oh, yeah. It's more than just a friendly food debate.
It's about national pride for
Yeah.
both Ghana and Nigeria.
There's actually a part in the video where Sunny is eating jollof with Miss World Africa in Nigeria.
I saw that part.
And he mentions that he's tried it in Ghana.
Oh, no.
And she's like, no, you don't want to try it.
She was not having it.
Okay, so break it down for me. What are the actual differences between the two?
Well, it's all about the rice.
Okay.
And Chef Mami, this amazing Ghanaian chef, she really lays it out for us in the video.
Yeah.
She explains that, the Nigerian jollof uses parboiled long grain rice,
Okay.
which gives it a smokier flavor and a firmer texture,
Okay.
whereas Ghanaian jollof often uses uncooked basmati or jasmine rice.
Okay.
So you end up with a more aromatic and fluffy rice.
Interesting.
So it's all about the type of rice.
Yeah. Chef Mom admits that she prefers Ghana's jollof rice.
No, yeah, she's Ghanaian.
And she's about to show Sunny exactly why. She starts with goat fat, not beef fat.
Oh, interesting.
And to that, she adds this paste made from onions, garlic, habanero peppers,
Oh, wow.
and ginger.
Okay.
Once that's browned, she throws in a whole bunch of dry spices.
All right, like what?
Cayenne pepper, curry powder,
Okay.
and dried hibiscus flowers.
Hibiscus flowers.
Yeah.
Wow, that's different.
They add this tartness
Okay.
and that red color to the dish.
Okay, that makes sense.
Then in goes the tomato paste, cubed beef, and of course more habanero peppers.
Oh, she loves those habaneros.
She does, but she makes sure to just slightly crush them
Yeah, she was very specific about that.
to keep that fresh, spicy tang.
Makes sense.
All right, then comes the rice,
Okay.
and she stirs it meticulously, making sure every grain is coated in that sauce.
That's key.
And then it simmers low and slow for 3 hours.
Oh, 3 hours.
While that's going, she makes a whole bunch of side dishes too.
Like what?
Fried plantains, fried chicken, braised goat meat.
This is a feast.
A true celebration of Ghanaian food.
Yeah.
So, of course, Sunny tries the rice plain first,
What does she should?
and he just lights up.
I bet.
Delicious, savory, spicy. He loved that richness from the goat fat and the slow burn from the habaneros.
Yeah, she knows what she's doing.
He even found some goat skin and protein in the rice, which added some nice texture.
It's all about those little details.
Now, this is where things get really interesting. Jollof rice in Ghana, it's more than just a dish.
Oh, what is it?
It's a symbol.
Okay.
It's a symbol of celebration, tradition, national pride.
Wow.
Chi-Chi actually says in the video, there's no party without jollof.
That's awesome.
Weddings, funerals, whatever the occasion.
It's always there.
It's got to be on the menu.
And they really want Ghanaian jollof to gain that international recognition.
Yeah, Chi-Chi dreams of it becoming as globally famous as German beer or Italian pasta.
I mean, I think it could happen.
That's so too.
After hearing about Chef Meme's version,
Yeah.
it sounds pretty incredible.
All right, so let's shift gears a bit. We've seen the bustling streets, the markets. Now let's head to something a little more refined.
Okay, I'm ready.
We're going to explore the fine dining scene with Chef Mem.
I'm excited about this part.
Her journey is pretty amazing.
Tell me about it.
She actually honed her skills under Marcus Samuelsson, the famous Ethiopian chef.
At Red Rooster in Harlem.
Yeah, that's right. And then she returned to Ghana to open her own high-end restaurant called Gastro.
I love that, bringing those international skills back home.
Her goal is to elevate Ghanaian cuisine to that fine dining level.
Which, honestly, we don't see enough of.
No, we don't. African fine dining deserves so much more recognition.
Definitely.
One of the dishes she makes that caught my eye was this elevated version of a street food called cuisine mako.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically boiled eggs with a spicy pepper sauce.
Okay. Pretty humble.
Yeah. So she starts by dyeing the eggs using turmeric and red cabbage.
Oh, wow.
So they look all colorful and festive.
Okay.
And then for the topping, she uses red onions, peppers, salted fish called kak,
Okay.
sea salt, tomatoes, all blended into this fiery sauce that's poured over the eggs.
Wow, that's taken it to a whole new level.
And for the final touch, pickled onions and fresh herbs.
Okay, so what did Sonny think?
He was so impressed. He said the flavors were radiating heat,
I bet.
with this sourness from the pickled onions and this fragrant depth from the spices.
It's like a symphony of flavors.
It really is. And, you know, Chef Meme, she dreams of earning a Michelin star for Gastro.
Which would be a first for Africa.
Yeah. And after seeing her creativity, her passion, I honestly think it could happen.
Me too.
Another dish that stood out to me was the guinea fowl.
Okay, guinea fowl. How does she prepare that?
She cures it under salt for 3 hours.
Wow, 3 hours.
Then she puts it on a bed of thyme, peppercorns, garlic, and a generous amount of duck fat.
Duck fat, huh?
Keeps the meat moist while it cooks,
Okay.
and then it's wrapped in foil and baked for 4 hours.
4 hours. This is some serious slow cooking.
I know.
So while the guinea fowl's in the oven, what are they doing?
Well, they have a fascinating conversation about the cost of fine dining in Ghana.
Okay.
Gastro's tasting menu can range from $100 to $11,000 per person.
$11,000?
Yeah.
What?
It might just be the most expensive restaurant in Ghana.
Wow. So what do you get for $11,000?
Well, Chef Mame explains that they want to make gastro accessible to everyone, so they have more affordable options, as well as those super extravagant, once-in-a-lifetime experiences.
Smart approach.
Okay, but back to the guinea fowl. After 4 hours, it comes out, the skin gets crisped up in oil.
Okay.
She portions it out, tops it with this yaji powder, which is a Nigerian seasoning blend,
Okay.
and some pickled vegetables. And of course, it's served with jollof rice.
Gotta have that jollof.
Sonny describes the guinea fowl as having a nice crispy outer layer
Okay.
and a density that was not tough.
Good.
He really liked the dark meat
Okay.
and said that despite being lean, it wasn't dry at all, thanks to that duck fat.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And when he had it with the shido sauce, he said it was sweet and spicy.
What a combo.
Chef Mimi's really mastered that art of elevating traditional Ghanaian cuisine.
Definitely.
All right, you ready for something a little more adventurous?
I think so. Hit me.
We're about to enter the world of bushmeat.
Okay, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Sonny starts his journey at a roadside stall somewhere between Accra and Kumasi.
Okay.
And it is unlike anything I've ever seen.
What's going on there?
Picture turtles strung up like wind chimes.
Wow.
They have antelope, porcupine.
Okay.
They even have turtle for sale.
I mean, it's fascinating, but it definitely raises some questions about,
The ethics.
yeah, the ethics and sustainability.
The stall owner, Isaac, he's a middleman. He buys from the hunters and sells to the customers.
Okay.
He says the hunters come from nearby villages, set traps, or use guns.
There's a whole system.
Yeah, and it's been going on for generations,
Nice.
a source of income for those communities.
So it's complicated.
Yeah.
It's not just about, people wanting to eat something different.
It's a way of life for some people.
Right, exactly.
So Sonny and Abby, his guide, they get invited to try this dish made from a small antelope called a dik-dik.
Oh, okay. What'd they do with it?
First, they roasted it to get rid of the hair,
Okay.
washed it, scraped it clean. Then they took out the organs, chopped it up,
Okay.
put it in a pot with onions, ginger, tomatoes, red pepper powder, bouillon powder, salt.
A nice slow-cooked stew.
And to finish it off, Isaac adds habanero and tomato paste.
So spicy.
Abby, Sonny's guide. She hesitates at first,
I bet.
but she tries it.
Well, good for her.
Sonny said the broth was spicy as it should be,
Okay.
with a salty and gamey flavor.
Okay.
The meat itself was pretty lean, reminded him of chicken.
Oh, interesting.
Now this is where things get really ethically tricky.
Okay.
They encounter a pangolin.
Oh, no. They are so endangered.
I know, and in some cultures, they're considered a delicacy, especially in China, where their scales are thought to have medicinal properties.
It's really sad what's happening to them.
The seller actually tells Sonny that the scales can go for $15,000 a pound.
Wow. $15,000.
It's fueling this huge black market.
It's driving them to extinction.
Yeah. So Sonny decides to do something pretty radical.
What's that?
He buys the pangolin
What?
for $150.
Okay, what's he going to do with it?
He wants to release it back into the wild.
Okay, that's amazing.
So while they're searching for a safe place to release it, they continue exploring the bushmeat scene in Kumasi.
Okay.
They visit this massive market, the biggest one in the city.
Wow.
They're processing and selling hundreds of animals every day.
It's a whole operation.
They char the hair off,
Okay.
clean them, butcher them, and then they either smoke them, grill them, or prep them for stews and soups.
It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, it's intense, but it's also a huge part of their culture.
I get it.
Sonny talks to a bunch of vendors,
Okay.
and he learns about the cultural importance of bushmeat.
So it's not just about the food.
No. For a lot of people, it's tradition, it's their main source of protein, it's a connection to their heritage.
Makes sense.
One vendor actually says that they believe bushmeat is more nutritious than farmed meat
Oh, really? Why?
because the animals are eating wild plants and leaves that have medicinal properties.
Interesting. Whether it's true or not, it shows how they view bushmeat.
Yeah, they really see it as this gift from nature.
Right.
Sonny also learns that COVID really impacted the bushmeat trade.
I bet. Everyone was scared.
At first, people thought it came from bushmeat,
Right.
which led to a huge decline in sales.
Yeah, of course.
But now we know it came from a lab in China.
Right.
Now, despite all the controversy, the government is trying to regulate things.
Okay, how so?
They've banned the hunting and selling of endangered species like the pangolin,
Good.
and they set up hunting seasons to stop overhunting.
That's a good start.
Now, to really get a sense of the culture, Sonny meets with a local queen mother for a meal at the market.
A queen mother. What does she do?
She's like an elected representative
Okay.
who settles disputes between traders.
So she keeps things fair.
Yeah, she's a respected figure in the community.
That's cool.
And she explains to Sonny that eating bushmeat, it's a tradition that's been passed down for generations.
Yeah.
She sees it as a gift from God.
So for her, it's not just food, it's almost spiritual. It's a way of life.
Sonny asks her, what would happen if bushmeat was banned tomorrow?
That's a good question.
And she's like, there's no way that would ever happen.
Yeah, it's so ingrained in their culture.
Exactly. So Sonny tries this dish of groundnut soup with rice balls.
Oh, yeah, groundnut soup. I love that stuff. It's made with bushbuck meat.
Yeah. And the soup is so flavorful, it's rich.
Yeah.
It's made with palm cream, onions, tomatoes, peppers, and lots of groundnut paste.
Okay, it sounds delicious.
And it's cooked low and slow, so the meat gets super tender.
So what did Sonny think?
He called it a wave of experiences.
Okay.
He was really struck by how complex the flavors were.
And how did the bushbuck taste?
He said it was gamey, unlike anything he'd ever tasted before.
Wow, that's pretty adventurous.
The soup itself was spicy, salty, and had this peanut flavor that reminded him of Thai food.
It's funny how those connections pop up.
And then the rice balls.
Okay.
They're made from this oversaturated rice that's rolled into balls, and they're perfect for soaking up all that delicious soup.
The perfect pairing.
But even though he enjoyed it, Sonny acknowledged the ethical dilemma.
Right, it's not an easy issue.
It's about respecting tradition and culture while also thinking about sustainability.
Exactly.
Now, remember that pangolin?
Oh,
Sonny took it to the Kumasi Zoological Gardens,
okay, that's good.
and they were happy to take it in.
I bet.
They actually have a whole enclosure with about 30 other pangolins.
Really?
Yeah, many of them were rescued from the bushmeat trade, too.
Wow, that's incredible.
As he releases the pangolin, Sonny reflects on the experience and hopes that his small act will make a difference.
I mean, every little bit helps.
Right. Now, since hunting bushmeat could lead to some animals disappearing, Sonny looks at a possible solution. Snail farming.
Snail farming, huh?
Yeah, he visits a local snail farm, and it's just blown away by how big these snails are.
I mean, how big are we talking?
We're talking giant African snails, some weighing over 2 pounds.
2 pounds? That's huge.
I know.
That's like a small pet,
Right.
not something you eat.
But before he gets into the snail farming, he gets this little appetizer of grilled snails with kebab seasoning.
Grilled snails.
Yeah, the farmer's sister, Hira, explains that snails are really popular in Ghana.
Okay.
She marinates them with salt, pepper, and bouillon,
Okay.
skewers them with onion, grills them,
Right.
and then tops them with kebab seasoning.
So how were they?
Sonny said they tasted like wet soil with a mineral quality.
Wet soil. Interesting.
The kebab seasoning added some spice,
Okay.
but that snail flavor was definitely the star.
It's definitely a unique taste.
Hira then says that snails are actually more nutritious than meat.
Really? I mean, I know they have protein, but more than meat.
Yeah, they're packed with protein, iron, calcium,
Okay.
and apparently snail slime can boost your immune system.
Snail slime, is that a thing?
That's what they believe.
Interesting. Well, I guess every culture has its own remedies.
Hira's a nurse, and she actually wants to start her own snail farm.
Oh.
She sees it as this great business opportunity.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, snail farming is becoming more popular in Ghana.
Yeah, it's sustainable.
Yeah.
And pretty affordable.
And did you know that some people use snail slime for cosmetics?
Oh, right. I've heard about that.
They say it has anti-aging properties.
Who knew snails were so versatile?
I know, right? Okay, now for the real test. The snail dishes.
Okay, I'm ready.
Hira makes deep-fried snails and a green snail stew
Mm-hmm.
with snail slime.
Okay, 2 very different approaches.
The deep-fried ones, Sonny said they were tough, with a distinctive flavor that reminded him of a bucket of fresh rainwater.
A bucket of fresh rainwater.
I don't even know what that means.
Neither.
But the green stew, that was the winner.
Okay, tell me about that.
It has onions, chili peppers, tomatoes, and of course the snail slime.
Right.
It's served with kenki, which is this fermented corn dough dish.
Oh, yeah, kinky. It's like a staple.
Sonny described the kenki as having a sticky texture and a slight sourness, kind of like cool-down mashed potatoes.
Okay.
He said the soup itself was spicy and tomatoey.
And what about the slime? Could you taste it?
He said there wasn't any noticeable slime flavor.
Oh, okay.
And the snails in the stew, they were cooked perfectly,
Okay.
softer than the deep-fried ones,
Okay.
and that rain-like flavor wasn't as strong.
It sounds like the stew really mellowed it out.
Yeah. Now, to find even bigger snails, Sonny goes to Kajetia Market,
That's the biggest market in West Africa, right?
the biggest single market.
Wow.
Over 10,000 shops and stalls.
That's insane.
He meets this woman named Amma, who has been selling snails there for over 50 years.
Wow, 50 years.
And the giant West African snails she has, they're even bigger than the ones at the farm.
Wow, so snail farming is really working.
Yeah, and they can sell for up to $2 a pound.
That's double the price of chicken.
Yeah, it's becoming a real business.
Wow.
Sonny asks Amma how long she can keep the snails alive if they don't sell.
Good question.
And she says up to a month.
Really?
Snails are survivors.
I guess so.
She also says that more people are eating snails now because doctors are saying they're healthy.
Oh, that makes sense.
They're even drinking snail water.
Snail water?
Yeah, it's this blue liquid that's supposed to be good for you.
I don't know about that one.
I don't either, but it shows how important snails are to their culture.
Okay, so final snail showdown.
Yes. Sonny tries this traditional Ghanaian green soup, known for its unique flavor, and you guessed it, snail slime.
Bring it on.
So they take the snails out of their shells,
Okay.
wash them, boil them to get that slime.
Right?
Then they add turkey berries, Scotch bonnet peppers, onions, tomatoes, and cayenne leaves.
What are cayenne leaves?
I have no idea.
What?
But it all gets blended into a paste.
Okay.
And then they put that in a pot with red palm oil, sliced onions, and smoked mackerel.
Okay.
Then in goes the snail slime,
Right.
followed by the boiled snails, more fried fish, okra, and this special ingredient called Aden fruit.
Aden fruit.
It's this West African spice that adds depth to the soup.
Interesting.
To finish it off, they add blended cocoa yam leaves, which give it that green color.
Okay, so we've got the soup. What about the carbs?
Fufu.
Of course.
But the way they make it here is fascinating.
Oh, how so?
They start with cassava and plantains.
Okay.
Peel them, steam them,
Right.
and then they pound them with this giant wooden pestle in a mortar
Yeah, I've seen that before.
until it's this smooth dough.
It takes some real muscle.
It's like a workout.
Yeah, and it's usually a communal
Yeah.
thing. People
Yeah.
gather around, they chat, they sing.
Sonny actually tried to pound the fufu for a few seconds.
Oh, I bet that didn't last long.
Nope. He gave up pretty quickly.
It's harder than it looks.
So once the fufu's ready, it's served with the soup, and Sonny makes sure to eat with his right hand only.
Respecting the customs.
He said the fufu was unlike anything he'd ever had.
Yeah.
Velvety, smooth.
It's a very unique texture.
And the soup was smoky, savory, spicy.
All the good stuff.
He specifically mentioned loving the mushrooms.
Okay.
He said they were dense and meaty. And he even chewed on a crab shell to get all the flavor out.
This guy is committed.
But the main event, the snails.
Yeah. What do you think?
He said they were the biggest snails he'd ever seen.
Not bad.
And they were cooked perfectly.
Good.
Soft, almost like abalone.
Abalone. That's high praise.
He said the rainwater flavor was much more subtle in the soup.
Okay.
And he declared it the best snail experience so far.
So the slime didn't scare him off.
Not at all.
Good for him.
Now this soup, it's considered a delicacy.
Okay.
It's not something you eat every day.
It's special occasion food.
Yeah, and it's pretty expensive.
I bet.
But Sonny asks if people are willing to pay the price. And they are.
That shows you how much it means to them.
It's more than just a meal.
Exactly.
It's about culture and tradition.
Okay, so what about that pangolin? Did he finally release it?
He did. He took it to the wild and let it go.
That's awesome.
It really made him think about the whole bushmeat thing.
I bet.
He sees both sides of the issue.
It's tough.
Yeah. All right, next stop on this food adventure, Elmina, a coastal fishing town, famous for its fish market and smoking techniques.
All right.
Sonny arrives at the market, and he's immediately hit with the sheer variety and abundance of seafood.
What kind of stuff did they have?
I mean, everything.
Wait a minute.
Snapper, tuna, squid,
Okay, the class.
but also needlefish, hammerhead sharks, shovel-nose rays.
Hammerhead sharks.
Yeah.
Wow.
He even finds a woman selling stingrays.
Really?
She says they're super popular for stews and soups.
Interesting.
But the showstopper was this giant swordfish.
No way.
Maybe the biggest fish he'd ever seen.
I bet.
And it was going for 10,000 cedis.
That's got to be a lot of money.
I know, right? As the market starts to wind down, Sonny watches these guys repairing their fishing nets.
Getting ready for the next day.
Yeah. While he's exploring, he finds this vendor selling a dish called Fonte Fonte.
What's that?
It's a tomato fish stew made with fried red fish.
Okay.
It's simmered in this rich tomato sauce with onions, garlic, chili peppers, and palm oil.
Sounds delicious.
And the vendor is so proud of his food. He's like, this is Fante land.
I love that local pride.
It's served with Fante kinky.
Oh, another kinky variation.
Yeah, but this one's wrapped in plantain or banana leaves.
Oh, wow. That must give it a unique flavor.
But as Sonny's trying to film, he runs into a problem.
Oh, no. What happened?
Some of the locals get hostile.
What?
Some of them want money to be filmed,
Really?
and others are just straight up aggressive.
That's not cool.
I know.
Not everyone wants to be on camera.
Yeah, it's a good reminder to always be respectful and ask permission before filming people.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so moving on from the market, let's check out the smokehouses.
The smokehouses.
Yeah, and these aren't your fancy modern ones.
What are they like?
They're traditional open-air structures.
Okay.
And it's the women who are running the show.
That's awesome.
They're preserving fish using these ancient techniques.
It's amazing how those traditions have been passed down.
So they soak the fish in water to clean them.
What?
And then they light fires under these brick ovens to create all this smoke.
I bet it smells amazing.
I know.
What kind of fish are they smoking?
All kinds.
Like what?
Little bait fish, hake, even giant tuna.
Wow, they do everything.
And while the fish are smoking, Sonny hangs out with this food YouTuber named Tatiana.
Okay.
And they learned about this Ghanaian condiment called shito.
Oh, yeah, shito. Isn't that spicy chili oil?
Yeah, it's like their version of high sauce.
It goes on everything.
So they visit this woman named Nana who owns a chop bar.
A chop bar.
Yeah, it's like a casual eatery.
Okay, like a diner.
Kind of.
Okay.
And Nana's been making shito for over 50 years.
She's the expert.
Before they get to the shito, Nana makes this dish called banku.
Banker again?
It's everywhere.
So versatile.
This one is made from fermented corn dough and cassava dough,
Okay.
cooked into this smooth porridge.
Interesting.
Sonny said it had a sticky texture and was a little sour.
Okay.
He said it was kind of like cool down mashed potatoes.
All right, not a bad comparison.
Okay, now for the shito. Nana starts with onions, ginger, green habanero peppers, and garlic,
All right, the classic base.
all blended with a bit of water.
Okay.
Then she heats vegetable oil in a saucepan and adds the spice blend, along with some chili peppers.
Okay.
She cooks them until they bind together.
Okay. It sounds like a real labor of love, taking the time to toast those spices and develop those deep flavor.
Exactly. Once the mixture is bubbling hot, she adds chicken, shrimp powder, powdered fish mix, more oil, Maggi cubes, and rock salt.
Maggie cubes, huh?
Yeah, those are like flavor enhancers, super popular in Ghana. The whole thing boils for hours, the flavors get all intense, and then all the moisture evaporates, and you're left with this thick, concentrated paste.
That sounds intense.
It is in the best way possible.
Yeah.
So Sonny dips his banku into the shido and is blown away. He's like, this is the best I've ever had.
I bet.
He loves that umami from the shrimp and fish, the heat from the peppers, and that lingering warmth that just builds with each bite. He even says it goes with everything.
It's like the ultimate condiment.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So to go with the banku and shido, Nana makes a simple tilapia.
Okay, simple, but I'm sure it's still delicious.
Oh yeah. She marinates it with onions, ginger, habanero peppers, and garlic. Then deep fries it till it's crispy and golden.
Perfect.
Sonny says the inside is fleshy and steamed feeling, while the outside is nice and crunchy.
The best of both worlds.
He even remembers to eat with one hand, like they do in Ghana.
Good for him.
He calls it some of the best food he's had in Ghana, but then he learns about a challenge that many businesses face there. Unreliable electricity.
Oh, yeah, that's a tough one.
Nana says they have to prepay for electricity, kind of like putting money on a phone card. The amount you put determines how much power you have for the month.
So it's like a prepaid system.
Yeah.
That must make it hard to budget.
And even then, power outages are still common.
Oh, wow. So what does she do when the power goes out?
Sonny asks her that, and she simply says, you have to keep going. She's incredibly optimistic and adaptable.
That's amazing. I love her attitude.
She dreams of opening a real restaurant one day so she can charge more and offer a fancier experience. But for now, she's content with her chop bar, making delicious food for her community.
That's so great.
Okay, so remember those smoked fish?
Oh, yeah. What happened with those?
Sonny heads back to the smokehouse to see how they're doing.
Okay.
He meets this woman named Mary, who learned the art of fish smoking from her mother.
Oh, I love that.
She tells him the smoking time depends on the size of the fish, anywhere from 1 to 3 days. Sonny tries some smoked red fish and says it has this natural flavor that's enhanced by the smokiness.
Sounds delicious.
So for their last meal in Elmina, Sonny and Tatiana find this cool spot
Yeah.
with storage sheds and shipping containers.
Okay. What's there?
It's where they discover this local specialty, palm nut soup with corn flour and crab.
Okay. That sounds interesting.
The cook tells them the dish can't be made without the crabs. It's a palm cream base with onions, tomatoes, peppers, fermented fish, and whole crabs for flavor.
Lots going on there.
Once the crabs are cooked, they're taken out, and corn flour is added to thicken it up. Sonny says the texture is like pumpkin pie, with this loose cornbread consistency.
Interesting. So how does he eat the crab with only one hand?
It's a challenge, but he cracks the shell with his right hand and gets all that delicious meat out. He says it's got savory flavors and tons of spices.
Sounds good to me. What else did they have?
Oh, they had this green leafy stew made with cocoa yam leaves, green tomatoes, habanero peppers, palm oil, onions, smoked mackerel, and shredded smoked tuna.
Wow, that's a mouthful. What was it like?
Sonny loved the fresh flavors of the greens, the richness, and the balance of smoke and savory from the tuna.
Wow, what a meal.
Yeah. But just as things are winding down, Sonny has another run-in with some locals.
Oh no, not again.
This guy comes up to the camera crew all angry, telling them to stop filming.
Mm.
Sonny tries to calm him down, but the guy won't budge.
That's so frustrating.
It eventually blows over, but it leaves everyone feeling a bit shaken. Despite all of that, Sonny really finds peace in that final meal and a conversation with Tatiana, who actually grew up in Italy but came back to Ghana to reconnect with her roots.
Oh, wow. I love that.
She tells Sonny how much she loves Ghana, the food, the people, the culture.
It sounds like she really found her place.
Yeah. Sonny reflects on his trip, recognizing that Ghana has its challenges, but also expressing gratitude for all the amazing food and the chance to learn about a new culture.
That's what it's all about, stepping outside your comfort zone and experiencing something new.
So what do we learn from our deep dive into Ghanaian food? It's a world of bold flavors, unique ingredients, and time-honored traditions.
We saw incredible resourcefulness, creativity, and a deep connection to food as a symbol of culture and community.
It's been a wild ride, from those illegal turkey tails to the snail slime, and we even tackled the ethical questions surrounding bushmeat and explored alternatives like snail farming.
It's a reminder that food is more than just sustenance. It's a reflection of our history, our values, and our connection to the world around us.
Exactly. So are you feeling inspired to try some Ghanaian food? Maybe make some red at home or find a local restaurant serving fufu and peanut soup?
I'm definitely going to be on the lookout.
Thanks for joining us on this culinary adventure. Until next time, happy eating.